So right now, Ilene Cohn Richman is also an attorney. Today, she's going to be talking about healing from 5G, protecting your body from technological stress. She is in room number 25, and she will be in the playroom at 5 o'clock. She is an attorney, certified coach, speaker, trainer, nutritionist, author, advanced clearing practitioner, and she has a doctoral candidate in natural medicine and the founder of Cohn Leadership. She teaches personal and professional development and single group consultations, as well as nutrition and health, and inspires her audience with her knowledge, humor, and charismatic personality. How cute.
Little self-promotion. I didn't write that.
You didn't write that? That's so cute. Oh, that's so cute. All right, my friend. I'm glad you're here. You got an assistance and you got the stage for the next 25 minutes. Go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I love the jewelry everybody's wearing, by the way. I'm such a jewelry person. Yes, in one of my current/prior lives, I am an attorney, former prosecutor, former inspector general, that fun government stuff. That's why I'm up to date on the law of what we can and cannot do. That's a discussion for another time. But here I'm here to talk about the dangers of 5G. This is more of a down-to-earth presentation, telling you why it's bad and what you can do to protect yourself. So if we could do the next screen, that would be terrific. Okay, so we could do the next 3 screens. This is some of the ways you can protect yourself, even though we're going to talk more about nutrition as well. You can protect yourself with beautiful, affordable, interchangeable jewelry for men, women, children, and fur babies. Next screen, please. And here we have, it's designed with you in mind, because we have all sorts of natural stones, man-made stones, inspirational stones, and necklaces, bracelets, earrings, scarf pins, tie pins, and pet tags. Next slide, please. And 5G is it's so horrible, and I'm going to get into the latest stuff about it. But 5G and electromagnetic frequencies have been around since we saw our big first cell phones. You may recall the ones from the sitcoms. The people could hardly pick them up, and we've seemed to have graduated from 4 to 5G, and I'll tell you why that is bad. Next slide, please. So EMFs are environmental toxins, and they come off your cell phones, your Wi-Fi, cell towers. They even come off baby diapers now, thanks to Pampers, where if a child cries, you get a signal to your phone, if that's what you want, that your child needs to be changed. I mean, why go in there and check yourself, right? But this is everything that electromagnetic frequencies come off. Next slide. All right, now here's how we were in 2013 with cell phones and cell towers. You can see, you can hardly see them. This is 2018, and you can imagine what's happening in 2022. Looks like a map of the United States in measles. Next slide, please. And this is what a cell tower looks like. If you're thinking of moving and you see this nearby, do not move there, because these cell towers are very powerful and they cause all sorts of harm. Next slide, please. And here are some of the signs if you are sensitive to EMFs, anywhere from anxiety, anywhere from shakes, you can read them yourselves. I'm not going to just read everything. Forgive me, I have vision issues, and I'm sorry that this is not the best copy. We got this information recently, but anywhere from nausea to headache to anxiety to, and we've been noticed a lot of anxiety. We were all together at a live event in Florida last week, and you would not believe how upset and anxious the hotel staff was with us. Next slide, please. And here we have the biological effects of EMFs. It's not just what you're experiencing now. They're showing that the 5G can mutate your cells, cause cancer, causes cellular molecular changes, behavioral changes. It messes with our blood-brain barrier, the ability for us to think, our cardiovascular system, our vision. It even causes birth defects, which is why when I see a woman nursing her baby, you'll see a slide later, with a cell phone in her hand, like I saw at the nail salon 10 days ago, I wanted to get fined. Next slide, please. And here we have, this is not the woman, but this is the worst thing you can do. Next slide, please. Okay, so here's some of the things that it could cause, as we said: brain tumors, cognitive decline. You think you're having Alzheimer's, it's not. It's from the fact you're on your phone all the time. Memory loss, and for our kids, ADHD. Next slide, please. And here we have the effects. We talk about our kids. Now, why are cell phones so harmful for our children? Because their brains are more water soluble, their skulls are thinner, and the effects of 5G radiation, if you give them an iPad or a cell phone, causes long-lasting damage and permeates their brain faster. Next slide, please. I could talk forever about this, but I have 25 minutes. So as I said before, we have this issue with 5G. Now, the problem is it passes through your brain barrier, it passes through your skin. It's just something that you need to be aware of. Next slide, please. And why are 5Gs harmful? We spoke about this before. It affects our brain, it affects our heart, it affects our nervous system and our mitochondria, meaning when we ingest food and air, for an example, it grows, of course, the barrier of our cells. What 5G does is it forces the cells to stay open. So you remember garbage in, garbage out, and we excrete and breathe out the toxins. Now they're stuck and they go in and out and in and out and in and out. So if you think you're feeling crummy, this is why. And oh, by the way, 5G was rolled out majorly last Wednesday. Next slide, please. Now, what we have to do is protect ourselves from making ourselves vulnerable, because we're all cellular electrical beings. You know, when you see people on TV being shocked back to life with EKGs or EEGs measuring brain health. That is why we're all electrical, and we have to focus on what these electrical frequencies are doing to our bodies. Next slide, please. And here we have the research. I say, don't take my opinion alone. There are at least 35 position papers I found. And what's interesting is most of them are from Europe, because there are 6 countries in Europe that will not allow 5G because they know how dangerous it is for their citizens. In Israel, where my grandchildren live, they only allow 3G and they seem to be doing fine. Next slide, please. So not just your body, but when I was flying back this past weekend from Florida, I had an interesting conversation with one of the pilots. Now, I don't know if you've seen in the news in the last few weeks, but there's an actual danger of the 5G radioactivity affecting radio bands that airliners use in their ability to navigate, like altitude. That means landing, taking off. What I was told by this one pilot was he was so shocked that 5G hasn't been more in the news because his union and the other unions, the flight attendants unions, have been in contracts to try to prevent 5G cell towers from being anywhere near airports. Because what he told me was, for example, I was flying back to New York, if there was inclement weather and they had to rely on an instrument panel, because of 5G, they could not. So they would have to fly into a smaller airport. There was a small victory because the 10 major carriers, Delta, all the airlines petitioned in court to stop the rollout of 5G near airports. And the compromise for now was that there would be no 5G cell tower within 2 miles of any airport. And that became a permanent injunction last week. Next slide, please. So it's not just my opinion, is what I'm saying. And again, here are, because I can't tell you enough, all of what you may be feeling. If this is what you're feeling, this could be because you are sensitive to 5G. Next slide, please. And as I said before, we are energetic beings. So I tripped over this company about 3.5 years ago that makes interchangeable biomagnetic jewelry that helps raise your electrical voltage, which helps boost your immunity, boost your mood, and more importantly, helps your body counteract those EMFs. Next slide, please. Okay, so here we go. The jewelry is composed of several elements. Now, what blocks those EMFs? They're called neodymium magnets. They're 4,000 Gauss. That's how you measure a magnet. And what this means is this magnet is raising your electrical voltage such that the 5G EMF radiation cannot get in. Now, how it works is, and I'll show you pictures. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm not sure where the camera is. It's a new computer. But on the back of every stone, this is a natural labradorite, is a 5G neodymium protective magnet of 4,000 Gauss. There are large ones and small ones. This is just an example. Next slide, please. And here I'm going to show you now, for almost the rest of my talk, what the jewelry looks like. So as we said, on the back of every stone is a neodymium magnet. The National Institute of Health and the World Health Organization says you can wear safely up to 20,000 Gauss. One magnet is 4. I'm wearing 20,000 now. Actually, I'm wearing a bracelet. I'm wearing another necklace, and usually I wear earrings. Now, this is an example also to go beyond. This company started by a holistic practitioner, a chiropractor, whose area was technological stress, and her friend from childhood, a gem designer, came up with all these designs, which I'm going to show you. And big favor, Sherry, or if anyone's there, if you could let me know when I have 5 minutes left, I would appreciate it because of my vision disability. But on the back of every setting are these energy balls. And what do? Well, this is what helps you boost immunity, and who doesn't need that now? Elevate your mood, again, very necessary. And the other one is germanium, which helps with circulation and healing. Next slide, please. So here we have one of our very basic examples. We have our balance, we have bracelets, we have scarf pins, all different items. Basically, you pick what you like, the bases that you're setting, and then you pick the stone or stones that you like. You say to yourself, am I a necklace person? Am I a bracelet person? An earring person? A scarf pin or tie pin person? Because this helps with sleep, some people actually put it in their pillowcase inside, or during the day, I hear people say, well, I'm not a jewelry person. Well, you put it in your bra, or like my brother does, he carries it in his pocket. He's a chiropractor as well. Next slide, please. And here we have some examples of the bases. There are a lot more. We just came out with one that looks like a ribbon. There are crosses. There are all these settings you can pick, and it's a very, very affordable price. And on the back of every one, it has at least 3 energy balls, 3 to 6. Next slide, please. And that's what helps you elevate your mood, healing, and helps with circulation and boost your immunity. Here's an example of how it works. You pick a base. I love this. It looks like a music note or a question mark. You pick your little and your big stones, which are your tiny tubes or your megatubes, and you're set. You create your own look. Next slide, please. And here we have an example of some of our tubes. Our tubes are stones, and every tube has on the back a neodymium magnet of 4,000 Gauss. The bigger ones have a range of about 2 feet, and the smaller ones have a range of 1 feet. It's why I tell people, listen, if you're going to listen to your cell phone by your bed, then you need to, if you can't move it, then put this jewelry near your bed while you sleep, near your phone, just so that your body does not get worse while your body needs to recharge. Next slide, please. Those are our bigger ones, our megatubes. Here we have some more examples: coral, solar quartz, hematite, lapis, anything you can possibly imagine. Next slide, please. And here we have another example of people wearing the jewelry. Next slide, please. Here again, we have them in silver and in gold. And the jewelry consists of medically grade stainless steel with either silver or gold on the outside. That's because we don't want any allergic reactions, and we don't want you to be exposed to any alloys which might cause that. On the right, we have red jade, which is beautiful. You see, just in time for Valentine's Day, a heart stone. And then we have an aventurine and a snowflake obsidian. Next slide, please. And here we have our ribbon, which show it's gold down the middle. It has crystals and it has, like every one, the energy elements on the back. Next slide, please. And we can just keep rotating. This is our frame. Again, silver and silver and gold. This is harmony and this is journey. The one on the left of journey was actually an ammonite from the sea. Most of these are natural stones. And here we have our wings. These take a tiny tube. Natural stones again. Next slide. Here we have our solo. This a lot of the teenagers wear. They can switch it out. It's very small and it looks very, very stately. I had one of our drusies in it, $5 stone. I was standing outside Diamonds International when I was on vacation. Remember when we all took vacations and, we took cruises? Someone came up to me and asked me if that was a diamond and where I got it. I didn't want to tell them after they spent thousands on a diamond that this was a $5 stone. Next slide, please. And here we have the balance again. We have inspirational stones. She believed she could, so she did. Next slide. Here we have, again, an example of our framed in our energy slide. Next slide. The crosses in silver and gold. They're very stunning. A man or a woman can wear them. Next slide, please. Here we have, again, our lips. It looks like an evil eye with the solar quartz, and our harmony. That's gold and silver. Next slide. Here we have our dusk. To me, it looks like a goddess. It comes in either all silver or silver and gold. Next slide. And here again, we have an example of our twist and our ellipse. The ellipse with that stone, these two settings are great for Valentine's Day. Next slide, please. Again, more of our twist and gold and silver. They're just so beautiful. Next slide. Imagine how long it takes me to leave my house. I have all this here. And this is our V, which I call the Wonder Woman pendant because it looks exactly like her sign. And this takes a tiny tube. Next slide. And here again, we have our dusk and our harmony. Next slide, please, if you want to have a patriotic heart. More examples of our harmony with carnelian and coral. Next slide. Again, all interchangeable. And this is our Zen. The Zen is very cool. The men wear it as well. This has an extra magnet. It takes what we call our mega juniors or our mini megas. And these stones are only $10. Can you believe it? Next slide, please. Here we have our scarf pin called our Atlas. I have this now. And here I have on the back a stone. And it just goes under my shirt. And I pulled it off too quickly. So it is now here. 1 second, just so I can show you. It has energy balls on the back. If there are any chiropractors in the audience, this is an actual atlas of your neck. It's like a private joke because one of our owners is a chiropractor. Next slide, please. And we have earrings in all sizes in gold and silver. Next slide. They take tiny tubes, all interchangeable. Next slide. And here we have these take accessories. So you can even wear the long, used to call them shoulder dusters. And they are interchangeable. You can make it a post or make it with an accessory. Next slide, please. And here again, we have our new children's line. What I love about these owners is when the pandemic started and there was all this remote learning, they came out with a children's line, very affordable. You could get a bracelet for a complete set for as little as $20 or $23. And here we have sliders. I'm wearing one now. It's hard to see it. Sorry about that. Hard to see it. It'd be helpful if I knew where the camera was, right? So these all slide out and they're interchangeable, but they lock into place in case you're afraid your child will eat it, which I'm sure you have brilliant children, even toddlers. They will not swallow these things. Next slide, please. Here we have our bracelets, so many kinds. Our artisan is one that's unique and made bracelet by bracelet. We have our Geo, and they attach to the magnet, and we have our Cirque, which is a little bigger. And we have a new one, which is called a Magnasport. If you're a sports person, it has extra energy balls on the back, and it takes a mini mega, which is only $10. Next slide, please. And here we have some more examples. We can't forget our guys because they need to be protected too. And these are some of what the guys wear in bracelets or in necklaces. And they also wear the atlas, which they can wear as a tie pin, which is really cool. And of course, some of the guys can wear an earring, one earring. They can pull it off. I know yours can. Next slide, please. And here again, we have more pictures of what's for men. Next slide, please. And here we have even stones that are diffusers. And on the back of every one of these diffusers are the neodymium magnets, just like on all these stones. So you can have your diffuser if you're an oil person, and you can protect yourself from EMFs. We have about 30 choices in tinitude and in the megatude. Very affordable. Next slide, please. And here we have, again, this is for our fur babies. I had a dog who I unfortunately lost in February, but we put one of these on her. She had very bad arthritis when she was 14, and she stopped limping, and nobody believed it. I took her to the vet. The vet was so impressed with her range of motion and the fact that nothing had changed in her x-rays. He bought for his personal dog in his clinic. And on the back of the dogs, they don't interchange because the dogs don't care. They just want to feel better. On the back of the dog pendants, there's an extra energy ball to help with circulation because, of course, they have 4 paws where we have 2. Next slide, please. And this is when you decide to order, this is what you should do. You would go to tudegirl.com and you would pick party 725. And Sherry doesn't know this yet, but I'll be donating all the proceeds from people that order today or order as a result of hearing this talk. This will be donated to the Virtual Speakers Network. So that's 30% of everything that you guys order today will go to make sure that we can continue to do these things because Sherry is amazing. She wears many hats. I could see that when I saw her again last week in Florida. So we're just going to try to kick in a little bit. So all you need to do is go to tudegirl.com. If you have any questions, you can email me. That's my email. And when you do order, where there's a spot that says, is this associated with a party, please just put party 725. It will say Healers Network on it. And know that 30% of everything, instead of going to me, will go to keeping this event going. So does anybody have any questions? Because that is really it for me for this talk. Anybody? I hear silence.
We do have an opportunity for them to follow you to your room, Ilene.
Thank you. And if someone could help me get there, if I can figure out how to move myself.
Vicky, we need to put her room number on there.
Thank you so much.
And
Thanks,
she's a number 25, please.
Thank you.
Let her finish up.
No, I was just saying, just reminding anybody, anything that you order as a result of hearing me today, put party 725 because all the proceeds go to keeping this program going. So thank you.
Beautiful, thank you. And guys, follow her to room number 25 to ask for any questions. She'll talk to you about things that she probably couldn't tell you here on stage as a lawyer. So
yes,
we had a really interesting dinner conversation the other day. So go pick her brain a little bit. And I believe you have some door prizes to give away. So guys, put in the chat from put 0 to 100 some numbers, and she got some jewelry. I believe you're gonna contribute, right?
That's right.
So 0 to 100, we got a lot of people here in the room. If you'd like to win some jewelry valued at over $50, probably, and she might have a couple of them to donate. A lot more than that, actually. A lot more than that, guys. I need to get some of your necklaces and wear them. I should be demonstrating them here.
I love what you're wearing.
Got it from Donna Reyna.
Of course. And you do her honor by wearing that. She was one of our reps, by the way.
Mm. Okay, so you have your number written down on a piece of paper before we ask for the winning number. Put it-
I have it in my head. How about that? 'Cause,
Well, she can't see the numbers, guys, so even if she's looking at the numbers.
okay, let me, no, I'm not right. I can't see anything.
Right, yeah,
Can't
she's
see something. I'll
yeah.
write down the number. I'm gonna steal a piece
she's
of it.
legally, she's kind of legally blind. That's why she has an
No,
assistant.
I'm not
Oh, yeah.
kind of, I am.
Not kinda, she is.
That's- Okay, I'm gonna write down the number, okay?
If there's any healers here that are listening who can help her, I think you said you had
Yeah,
detached.
I'm willing to pay big bucks to anybody that can help me. I don't drive anymore. Anybody that gets me legally behind the wheel.
Go see Bhavna. She's here today.
Okay, I've thought about that.
I told you to go see her over the weekend, so go see her today. She's here and available.
Wonderful.
Okay, go to room number 2 to book a session with her. Take advantage of it. Okay, guys, I'm gonna
Number,
do,
you want me to hold it up?
let me do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You got it. Thank you.
Okay, and again, if you guys want to follow her to room 25, ask any Q&A. She's, she has so many tools in her tool belt, and ask her any questions, and she's available for consultations throughout the day as well. And she'll be back on, I believe, at 5 o'clock. What time? 5 o'clock in the playroom. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And what is your number?
Do you see it?
56. We got a 36 and a 71.
Gotta do the math.
56.
See which is close.
56, 66. So 71 is closer because there also would be 76, I think. Looks like Bev. Oh, no, Bev, sorry, you can only win 1 per event. Go play some numbers today, lady. You're doing good. Bev already won a session with Joan Francis, so sorry, Bev. We're gonna have to give it to the next person. Joanna Frame. Joanna Frame. That cannot be Joan Francis. Cannot be any of the practitioners. It's got to be one of the guests. Bev is psychic. Oh, no wonder. It's that when you got psychics in the room. Oh, Bev, we need to talk. I think you need to come join us next time. Okay, so Wendy had a 36. Okay, let me go up a little. Wendy has a 36.
Yay. Sorry, this is New York between the blizzard and the ambulances. Sorry for the noise.
Welcome to New York. Okay, so Wendy, you got the next one. Wendy Miller. Congratulations, Wendy, our regular.
Yay, Wendy. Wendy, could you do me a favor and email me your address? And we'll talk to you and see which you'd like, because you get to choose.
So why don't she come meet you right now in your room, and we'll move you and
Okay.
you guys talk about it, because I
That's
want to bring
great.
the next speaker on stage.
Perfect.
And